أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهل هارون أخي أشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه أجمعين Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum. We are reading the 18th word, which started with the verse from chapter 3, saying, "In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate, think not those who exult in what they have thus contrived, and who love to be praised, for they have not done. Think not that they will escape suffering, for grievous suffering does await them." And we read the first point last week, which is being specifically addressed to the evil commanding soul, or the aspect of the human experience or the human being that is that looks towards fulfilling its desires through purely material or physical means, and is very adamant and stubborn in doing so. So we'll continue with reading the second point, because I believe we read the entirety of the first point last week. And the second point starts saying, this point elucidates one meaning of the verse, who has created everything in the best way. So this is chapter 32 or section 32, verse 7, and is as follows. In everything, even the things which appear to be the most ugly, there is an aspect of true beauty. Yes, everything in the universe, every event, is either in itself beautiful, which is called essential beauty, or it is beautiful in regard to its results, which is called relative beauty. There are certain events which are apparently ugly and confused, but beneath that apparent veil, there are most shining instances of beauty and order. Beneath the veil of stormy rains and muddy soil in the season of spring are hidden the smiles of innumerable beautiful flowers and well-ordered plants. And behind the veils of the harsh destruction and mournful separations of autumn is the discharge from the duties of their lives of the amiable small animals, the friends of the koi flowers, so as to preserve them from the blows and torments of winter events, which are manifestations of divine might and glory, and under the veil of which the way is paved for the new and beautiful spring. I'll continue reading because it seems like the same point is being explained, of two types of beauty. One is beauty in and of itself, and the other in what it results in. So I think so far we have discussed things that apparently appear to be ugly, such as the muddy soil in the season of the spring, or the falling of the leaves and the changing of colors and drying up of the plants and vegetation in autumn. It appears to be in its apparent form ugly, but what it gives way to is what is being referred to as relative beauty, as I understand. Beneath the veil of events like storms, earthquakes, and plague is the unfolding of numerous hidden immaterial flowers, the seeds of many potentialities which have not developed, sprout, and grow beautiful on account of events which are apparently ugly, as though general upheavals and universal change are all immaterial rain. But because man is both enamored of the apparent and is self-centered, he considers only the externals and pronounces them ugly. Since he is self-centered, he reasons according to the result, which looks to himself and judges it to be ugly. Whereas if of their aims one looks to man, mm, whereas if of their aims one looks to man, thousands look to their maker's names. Okay. Um, Let me continue. For example, man reckons to be harmful and meaningless thorn plants and trees, which are among the great miracles of the Creator's power. Yes, brother, if you want to say something.
I think before going forward, we need to, I just needed to refresh my mind and remind that we look at the matter from our perspective. And of course, we have been given the sense of liking and disliking. And we have to respect that. We have to practice it. But there is a purpose in the existence of these senses. Sense of liking, I'm a bit jumping actually here to the conclusion, to appreciate it, disliking also to keep away from it, so that I can use my free will comfortably. Otherwise, if I like everything, then I will have no free choice to exercise. Of course, if I dislike everything, again, I will have no choice. It means I cannot exercise my free will. Without free will, I'm not a human being. I am a robot. So that is one principle that we have to establish. And then essential beauty, relative beauty. We have to understand also this terminology. You express somehow understandable. In essential beauty refers to the beauty in its existence. That is what the verse we read here says in original term language. أحسنه كل شيء خلقه. Who has created everything in the best way. But we should understand that we are expected to see the best way of creation in their existence. I am emphasizing on underlying on best way, the best way. In fact, although it is translated as best way, which is correct according to the context, but the word in its origin, ahsanahu, made it beautiful. It means in its existence, beauty lies there. What does it mean? What does it mean in its existence? The creation of the things that we don't like is also beautiful, lovable, but which kind of love is it? Loving the creator of this thing, giving me the opportunity by endowing in my creation to keep away from it. I don't like it, but I appreciate its existence, but I have been given the sense to keep away from it. It means don't like it. Don't like means don't like to get it. For example, wrong ideas, baseless ideas, this option of choosing, thinking, being able to think the opposite of the truth is excellent in its existence. This ability to think the opposite of truth, we call it simply wrong interpretations, wrong understandings, wrong ideas. This is beautiful. Some creatures are harmful. Existence of them are beautiful because they give me the opportunity to practice my feeling, sort of my sense of freedom, free choice, and also I can make the distinction between what is beautiful, what is not beautiful, so that I will say, oh, this is made beautiful. What is the source of beauty? And this is not beautiful. Who made it that who created in me, the sense of disliking the ugly things, harmful things, and the sense of running away from them? How do I know? I am created all these qualities. So I will use them as, look, there are some creatures which I am expected in my creation. I am told this. I don't need somebody to tell me that don't eat dirt, for example. But eating dirt is not good, not lovable, not beautiful for me. But creation of dirt, oh, beautiful. So I should make the distinction between thanking for the lovable things created and also feeling my need to keep away from it. I cannot guarantee that everything will be perfect myself. I am a needy creature. That is very important for me to understand. I am a needy creature to realize my reality and also recognize that I need the creator of these ugly things, dirty things, harmful things, to protect me from what is created as ugly, dirty, that I should keep away from. That's why Quran teaches me, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ مِنْ شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ. Please, God, keep me away from what you created. What you created. Look, I am running away from what God created. That is the way of exercising my neediness before my creator. It is a beautiful arrangement. But at the same time, the principle is told, or we are told, the principle of seeing the world from two different perspectives. In the story of Moses and the man with the knowledge from God directly, representation of God's perspective, God's intention. In this story, I mentioned, it's amazing to understand this story as a training for a prophet, so that I will follow the prophet. I cannot follow that wise man because I don't know God's intention. But in this story, God reveals to me that, look, there is an aspect of creation that you don't know. That is called, in this text, relative beauty. For example, this man goes, which is known in the culture as Khizr. I don't know what it is, but the Quran says wise man, or the man with milledun, it means God's knowledge. So he represents God's knowledge, God's perspective. He makes a hole and sinks the ship. And of course, it is something wrong. But okay, leave it there. He goes and kills them, and definitely it's a boy, it's an innocent child. Oh, it is really wrong. It is obvious. That is what I have to follow. This is my principle, my prophet. It is, I have to follow the prophet. So I shouldn't kill an innocent woman, say innocent boy or man or woman, saying that, oh, it may be good for him. No, 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 it is my speculation. I don't know God's knowledge. So, and he does a good job and doesn't ask for any reward. Again, of course, we don't understand. They are all against our feelings, but God reveals that beyond these feelings, that it is not good to harm the sheep, kill the boy, innocent person, and do something and not ask for a payment, recompense for my labor. It is not for me. But God says, yes, but if you think that something happened wrong according to you, never forget that there is a mercy behind it. The Creator is aiming at to realize. That is,
Can I point out something?
sorry?
When you said like, yeah, I would like to point out something. Like when you refer to the verse, min sharri ma khalaq, isn't there like referring to the min sharri, the evil of the things he created? So there is a difference between God created evil versus, like, I think the verse, there isn't like subtlety there, like the evil belongs to the things that is created, rather than God being the creator of it. I think it's a subtle point, but there is a big difference between the two.
Can you explain that? It is an
So-
important difference.
So how does the verse go? Like min sharri ma khalaq, in like in that surah, like what, like we are seeking refuge from the evil of the things he created, wrong? The surah itself, like when you take the surah as a whole, what is the main theme of the surah? Like we are like asking like refuge, we are asking God refuge from the evils. And one of the verse that you referred to says, min sharri ma khalaq. So sharri, like, isn't like when you translate the Arabic language to language that I can understand, doesn't it like translate as the things, the evils of the things he created?
Are you done?
Yes.
Okay, your mic is still open. That's why I waited. Yeah, okay, thank you. So we have to go back to the definition of the Quran. Quran speaks to human beings at his level, within his capacity, human capacity. So when he speaks to me in a way that I can understand and come to a conclusion that this thing, whatever is mentioned here, through the creation of this thing, God is introducing himself to me. That is what the main principle of reading the Quran. So God is introducing first, speaking to me with my language, the Arabic language is a human language. It is human language, it is my language. So it is not, I don't speak Arabic or speak another language, not in this sense. The ability to speak, express myself with words, etc. is a miraculous creation, but this is God's speech must be within the vocabulary that I can understand. So, as you said, this verse says, God created evil according to me. It is evil. But the creation side of evil is according to me, something is evil. Yes, that is correct. No way to deny. So creation side of this thing that according to me is evil belongs to God.
But that evil arises from the things themselves. It has nothing to do. I mean, God is the creator of it, but the evil itself arises from the beings. It has nothing to do with God.
No, from my perspective, this is evil for me so that I will keep away from it. But at the same time, the thing I thought was evil is created by God, but in its creation, there should be no evil because, for example, the verse we are referring it, there are other verses explaining that God never aims at harming you. So the creation of these options, one is good, one is bad, one is good, one is evil. This option giving me the opportunity to exercise and learn from what is good best and learn from what is good bad. What is bad. So make the distinction, exercise my feelings. So we learned from try and error. So from there, we will learn what is right, what is wrong, and choose. So this is what human beings works. So according to me, if I choose that option, it will be all evil, but at the same time, this way of creation is realized by the one who has created the whole universe. So that is perfect. There is nothing wrong. For the teacher gives me the multiple choice test. One of the choices is correct. The other 4, 3, whatever are wrong, evil. So I am expected to choose the right one, not the wrong ones. But it doesn't mean that when I see the wrong options, teacher made a mistake here. No. It is that's the way to teach you. Got it? Inshallah? It is just the way to teach you. These are wrong. These are wrong. Of course, a clever teacher, what does he do? He or she gives the option of wrong, evil alternatives in order to draw your attention to the details of the mistake. Every evil, it means wrong options, gives one aspect of the mistake. One aspect of the wrong in this statement or whatever the option is. So that there is something here, this is wrong. Another one, there is another thing is here. This is the way of teaching. It's beautiful teaching, actually. Drawing the attention to the fine points that we learn. That is why in this world, we know that the good and evil, according to us, are mixed. But according to the teacher, it is a way of training me. It is good for me to learn. So that is how we develop. If there was one option only in the creation for me, this will be the absolute evil. Why? I would be reduced to being a robot. That is, I don't want. I don't want to use my free will. No one wants to use his free will. So that is what this point, the second point, is very important to analyze. That's why I want to go back to the beginning of the discussion. Inshallah, You can carry on if you want to make further comments. Any one of us. Thank you.
Jazakallah. I will hopefully if it's helpful for me. I'll try to sum up some of the main points from this. So according to the verse here, everything that is created in the best way, in the most beautiful manner. And that is further, the author describes that, well, there are two kinds of beauty. One, that it is beautiful in itself, in that when we see it, we immediately find in ourselves feelings of liking and appreciation for it and wanting in it. And then there is a relative aspect, which is described in the fact that in its apparent sense, we may dislike it. It may appear ugly to us, but that feeling in us that we don't like this is a point of knowing what it is that we are, or what it is that we need. So it becomes a moment of learning, and it is in this moment or opportunity to learn. That's one way I also see that something becomes to me beautiful also from the fact that I am able to gain meaning that is helpful for me to know what is it that who I am in life, and what is it that life is. Basically, when anything becomes meaningful in terms of answering to my existential needs, it represents beauty, but it takes, this relative beauty has, let's say, steps to it. And in the example that Brother Ali was sharing, in the idea that initially, or in its appearance, it may not appear beautiful, but the aspect of it that is, let's say, hidden from us for that time being, such as, let's say, when there are stormy rains and muddy soil, the aspect of spring is hidden from us. Yet, it will become apparent as we continue to experience this aspect of existence, and what it means, or what it ends in, or what it both, I would say, yes, what it results in, but also what it means for me to learn. Both are aspects of relative beauty. And in terms of the statement around the verse min sharri ma khalaq, I think it's an interesting distinction that apparently something can appear evil according to the perspective of the human being, but according to its created, the reason for its existence is to be a opportunity to learn, and it is meant to be something to teach, and hence, though in its apparent state it appears to be evil, in its createdness, or in its being itself, it carries the purpose of being beautiful, in the sense that it is meant to teach and benefit me and be useful for me as far as my human needs are concerned. So if I were to summarize in one way, anything that I experience and I can engage or see an aspect of it that ultimately teaches me who I am and satisfies my existential needs, must be beautiful in the sense that it is useful and it has a purpose and it is thoughtful and created in a perfect manner, perfect to my needs. So perfection and beauty, I think, are concepts for me that seem to go hand in hand. So thank you for those questions and discussion. If there are other thoughts, feel free to raise your hand or ask a question, and we can make sure that moving forward, I take the points into consideration. Okay. This phrase I just wanted to understand for myself. Go ahead, Sarah, if you want to say something now.
No, I was just going to say, mashallah, a clarifying point that occurred to me is like when we judge something as ugly, I mean, to minimize it or just unfavorable or so from one aspect, the sense of dislike is given, but what occurred to me is existence, anything in existence can only be judged according to the purpose of existence. Otherwise, if I don't do that, and if I don't judge the thing that's in existence, whether it's a feeling or an event that's happening, if I don't judge it according to the purpose of existence and use that as my scale, then I am falling into the self-centered approach that is like self-worshipping, sort of some sort of notion of what I think is the purpose. So I it was clear for me. So alhamdulillah, I just wanted to share that.
Jazakallah. I think I also take one point from what you say, which was also mentioned in the sense that even the thing that we are terming as ugly or evil, or let's say another way to say that was mentioned as the wrong option, the purpose of it is beautiful in the fact that it has a purpose, a meaningful purpose to point you towards that which is, let's say, good for you. And so if there was no way of being able to distinguish, or if there was no experience of comparison and contrast and understanding why something is the way it is in reference to something else, we would, I mean, we don't have such an experience, but it would be difficult to understand from a human perspective why I should choose, why I would have been given a free will, or basically it is through the exercise of distinguishing and discerning that I get to learn about myself. And the things that we are calling ugly or evil are just indicators of that which help us use our free will to distinguish and hence get to understand who we are, basically demarcate our identity by saying, I like this, I don't like this, I think this is good, this is not good. It is all helps construct or realize, I would say rather, realize who we are, or our limits and our boundaries, or our definition as a human being. So thank you for sharing. Okay, just I just going to read this for my own sake, because just to recap, beneath the veil of events like storms, earthquakes, and plague is the unfolding of numerous hidden immaterial flowers, the seeds of many potentialities which have not developed, sprout, grow beautiful on account of events which are apparently ugly, as though general upheavals and universal change are all immaterial rain. But because man is both enamored of apparent and is self-centered, he considers only the externals and pronounces them ugly. Since he is self-centered, he reasons according to the results which looks to himself and judges it to be ugly. Whereas if of their aims one looks to man, thousands look to their maker's name. One immediate sort of question that comes to my mind is, why is self-centeredness associated with this tendency to only look at the apparent and decide I like this, I don't like this, just on a, let's say, a cursory or a, brief experience of something. Like, what does that have to do with being self-centered? Whereas the opposite would be that someone who looks deeper into the matters, asks, what is the purpose of something? What is it telling me about myself? And what is it that my feelings, whether I like or dislike, mean to me? Would assume that that person is not self-centered, or maybe perhaps the qualities of humility in this aspect. So, Brother Ali, you can go ahead.
Actually, the answer is in the last, I felt that it is in the last sentence that you read now. Whereas if of their aims one looks to men, thousands, it means, according to human beings, the aim of the creation is one. Sorry, I couldn't express myself. If something exists there, only one aspect of it looks to human beings. To me, I will be concerned in only when one aspect, but thousands of other aspects look to its creator. What does it mean? Of course, it is not easy to understand this. I mean, it looks like it is not easy to understand, but it is easy to understand. For example, the creation of anything, we call it ugly and evil. According to me, it's evil. Keep away. I don't want it. Storm, I don't want it. And cancer, I don't want it. Never. No. But this is compared to 1 out of 1,000. This feeling is trained here, educated here. How? We will talk. But 999 out of 1,000 concerns or looks to the creator as far as I am concerned. What does it mean as far as I am concerned? I will see that who is changing the seasons, who is creating the oceans, who is creating the rain, who is creating the clouds, who is creating the atmosphere. Oh, who is arranging all these different seasons? Who's creating the cells in my body, adjusting themselves with the ability to do all this? And once, then one of them is, oh, may go this way. Who is creating it? Who is arranging it? All in their existence, they explain to me who the creator of this things, everything, including I love it, including I dislike it. I keep away from it. Everything is disclosing the qualities of it. It is creator. So we give the example. If we analyze the existence of a healthy cell that we love, and also the existence of the cancer cell that we see as evil. If you look at their existence, they are equally wonderful, miraculous. No one in the world can, nothing in the world can create the healthy cell, neither can they create the cancer cell. It is perfectly arranged, perfectly created. So when I investigate their existence, how they come into existence, I understand and admire the qualities of the creator which are needed to give existence to these cancer cells as well as healthy cells. But how about the aspect that I don't like it. Yes, you are right. Keep away from it and understand you are needy, then understand you cannot guarantee your existence, and understand you are subject to death, and understand you must seek the help of the creator of cancer cell. That's why we are educated through the revelation that we should seek refuge with the creator of the things which are evil from our perspective, our relationship. But at the same time, I don't want to die, but death is there. I don't want to get the cancer cell, but it may not. I cannot guarantee it will be created in me and it won't be created in me. I cannot guarantee the control of the creation of the order of the universe. I cannot. I have to accept this and say that, oh, the creator, that's what Quran says. Qul, say, A'udhu, I seek refuge. Bi Rabbil Falaq, this is not subject, with وَمِن شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ, and with seek refuge with the evil of what my Rabb created. Now, from my aspect, I am advised to seek refuge with it. It means understand, locate your existence. What is the position of your existence before the creator and yourself? What is the position of your existence before the creator and yourself? No, you are the neither one, and the creator is the absolutely powerful, knowledgeable owner of the universe. He is the owner of the universe, and you are in need of him, so that you cannot claim that I can do anything I want. No, you can't. Look, you need to escape from the evil of something as well. You are a needy one, you cannot guarantee. The best example is death. You cannot guarantee anything at all, especially death. You are going to be given death and you cannot escape from it. And then take lesson from it. Learn. What does it mean for you? This is the way of training, educating, beautiful education, so that we are really perfecting our human quality as far as we can choose, and we can educate ourselves. Potential is there, potentials are there, but I have to discover it, find out, learn, and make a right decision so that I will be happy as a person who's learned, and then act according to my knowledge. Know my position. Thank you.
Jazakallah. So what I understand from this sentence, based on how you've also helped explain it, is that self-centeredness implies that, okay, we have an experience, or let's say I have an experience, and there's an aspect of it that I dislike. The self-centered experience would say that, oh, the only experience of it that I have is disliking it, and that is it, without attaching it to any, without attaching my feelings or understanding my feeling in the context of its source, but just limiting myself, or like concluding there that that my feeling in and of itself is complete in what I learned from it. Whereas the other aspect to look at about the feeling that you are that you dislike, or an experience that you don't like, if you start to look at all the qualities that go into it, its features, its what it represents, the fact that, as you were saying, that even the cancer cell is perfect, like even though nobody would definitely not like the idea of being afflicted by that condition, one cannot deny that in its existence it is perfect, or that it works just as the way that it is created to be, and it does its job quite effectively. And so it is only when I look at the existence of something that is apparently that I don't like, yet there are aspects of it that point towards thinking about its purpose, and then also connecting it to how it has come to be. And in doing so, there are all aspects of it, of its qualities, are pointing one towards seeking out its source of being. And that experience of seeking out, why what the nature of its qualities are, how does one come to explain it, becomes a moment of getting to know the creator of that experience and that thing. And then suddenly you move away from a simple, or not even simple, but like a very you move away from just the idea of centering the experience on yourself, and instead look towards all the things that are being taught to you, or you are being told about. I think I have it, but I'm having a little bit difficulty summarizing it well. But if there's anybody else who has any thoughts about this particular sentence or anything we've discussed so far, that would be helpful to hear, if you have some other way of also putting it into words. Okay. So Adam shares, I'm trying to understand the aim of the 18th word. Is this point related to last week's point about being praised for that which they have not done? Is there a connection? So the 18th word itself, yes, starts with the verse that you were mentioning, but I think that point was related to the first point. And then today we have gone into the second point, which elucidates the meaning of the verse, who has created everything in the best way. And we're discussing about how to understand this verse in the context of things that appear too ugly to us, or some things that we don't like, we don't find them beautiful, but yet they represent an aspect which points towards their beauty, but it is not apparent in and of itself directly. I hope that is helpful. Okay. I will. I'll just sort of read the rest of it, and if we want to discuss today, we can. Otherwise, we can continue from next week. So, for example, man reckons to be harmful and meaningless thorned plants and trees, which are among the great miracles of the Creator, whereas they are the well-equipped heroes of the grasses and trees. And for example, hawks harrying sparrows is apparently incompatible with mercy, but through this harrying, the sparrow's abilities unfold. And for example, he considers the snow to be very cold and uninviting, but under that chilly, unpleasing veil, there are aims so warm and results so sweet they defy description. Also, since man is self-centered and worships the apparent, and therefore judges everything according to the face that looks to him, he supposes, to contrary to good manners, many things that are perfectly polite and correct. For example, in man's view, the discussion of his sexual organ is shameful, but this veil of shame is in the face which looks to man, whereas the faces that look to creation, art, and its aims and purposes are veils, which, if considered with the eye of wisdom, are perfectly correct. Shame does not touch them at all. Thus, certain expressions of the all-wise Quran, the source of politeness and right conduct, are in accordance with these faces and veils. Beneath the apparent faces of creatures and events, which seem to us to be ugly, are extremely fine, wise art and beautiful faces looking to their creation, which look to their maker. So too, there are numerous beautiful veils which conceal their wisdom, and moreover, great numbers of apparent instances of disorder and confusion, which are most regular sacred writing. So I think this paragraph was really interesting with the examples given, reiterating the same point that there's one aspect that looks towards man, and that is being let's say perceived by the self-centeredness of man, to look at the apparent form of something and make a judgment about what it is. And if it immediately strikes us, or as a human being, to be unpleasant to us, we, to our immediate sort of experience, it appears to be unpleasant, we make a judgment saying that this is, you know, we don't like it, hence it has no use for me, and you disregard it completely. So that is only one aspect of the experience, whereas on closer look, when it becomes clear that that apparent ugliness is only a veil for what is being represented in the qualities of, let's say, organization or intelligence or sophistication, and many other very perfect qualities that bring that thing into being. Those all point towards the qualities of the creator himself, and hence that process of connecting those qualities to the creator and moving beyond that immediate or apparent reaction becomes a moment of expanding your awareness of reality as it is, your conscious experience of what reality is, and learning about who you are in your, as you are created, or as you are supposed to be, or things as they are, you know, including yourself and creation. So I think that seems fair for my side on as much as a summary for now. But if there's any other point that anyone would like to share from these two paragraphs, so that if there isn't one, then maybe next week we can start from the third point. But if there are other things that we should flag, go ahead, Brotherly.
I think this menace being self-centered needs to be discussed. Where is it really bad, or it is really good, or where we should be, and in which aspect of our life we should be self-centered, with which aspect of our life we should not be self-centered. How are we make this distinction? That is an interesting point. It needs quite a large time, enough time to discuss. So let's discuss this next Saturday, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
That is an interesting point that you bring, because obviously was speaking, or I'm understanding this from saying self-centeredness is bad, period, like, categorically. But it seems like we need to understand whether or not that is a right conclusion, and how can one come to a conclusion like that. So thank you for pointing that out, and something to
We
think
need to
about.
talk about it next week, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So we
Okay.
will take notes, and Asim will remind us, inshallah, next week.
Inshallah.
Moderator.
Sorry for the delay.
All right. That, no problem. So, go ahead, Faryad.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum anil hamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Bi hurmati sirri surah